all okay?
Yes, sir.
See, once again, as we are talking about bonding, chemical bonding, so usually chemical bonding can be of two types. One is electrovalent or ionic bond, and second is covalent bond. How electrovalent or ionic bond will be formed? Ionic or electrovalent bond will be formed by the transfer of electrons, 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 by the transfer of electrons. And since metals are having tendency of losing electron, so after losing electron will become positively charged, and non-metals will be having tendency of gaining electron, so will become negatively charged. So by the transfer of electron, by the transfer means loss or gain of electron, ionic bond or electrovalent bond will be formed. And by the sharing of electrons, which bond will be formed? Covalent bond will be formed. See, metals are having 1, 2, or 3 electrons there in the valence shell. So we'll be having tendency of either losing 1, 2, or 3 electrons. And after losing 1 electron, metals will become M1 plus. After losing 2 electrons will become M2 plus. And after losing 3 electrons will become 3 plus charge. Since metals are always losing electrons and after losing electrons will become positively charged, so metals are electropositive elements. Metals can't be electronegative elements. Is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir. What about the fourth shell, sir?
Which one?
The fourth shell
Having the 4 electrons.
in the valence shell.
Yeah, fine. I'll talk about that because right now you are doing this only. In 4 or more than that, you will be talking about this. Then we will be talking about this. Fine. So that also we discuss. This is the
Yes,
basic.
sir.
Yeah. 4
So,
will neither be having tendency of losing nor having tendency of gaining electron. 4 will be midway na.
yes,
So
sir.
will neither be having tendency of losing electrons nor be having tendency of gaining electrons. So will be having tendency of sharing electrons, and the bond formed when 4 electrons will be there, then the bond formed will always be covalent bond. Fine. So that also we'll discuss. So in this way, metals will always be electropositive elements. What about the non-metals? Non-metals are having 5, 6, or 7 electrons there in the valence shell. So will be gaining electrons. Element which is having 5 electrons will gain 3 electrons. Element which is having 6 electrons will gain 2 electrons. Element which is having 7 electrons will gain 1 electron. In this way will become 3 minus, 2 minus, or 1 minus charge. X3 minus, X2 minus, X1 minus. So non-metals will always be negatively charged and will be known as electronegative element. Will always be known as electronegative element. Is this all clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Now see, this is the very basic definition. This is not the 100% correct definition. If you'll see this example only, if you see this definition only, then you won't be able to give 100% correct answer. So many more definitions are there. Amongst all those definitions, one will be the most accurate, and obviously since will be most accurate, so will be difficult most also. So now we'll talk about all those definitions. See, this is your periodic table. This is your periodic table. What these elements are? S block elements. What these elements are? P block elements. What these elements are? D block elements. C. Bond. What ionic bond is? What electrovalent bond is? Ionic bond or electrovalent bond is a bond between S block elements and P block elements. Bond which is formed between S block element and P block element will always be ionic bond. This is first definition for ionic bond. Fine.
Yes.
Now see, Now see what these are. These are metals, and generally what these are here. These are metals, these are non-metals, and these elements are metalloids, and these elements are inert gases. Now here I'll tell you, I think we have done this definition too, that I have already told you valence electrons will valence electrons will always be less than or equal to 8. In an element, maximally valence electrons can only be 8. Either it will be 8 or less than 8. It can never be more than 8. Fine. So
Yes, sir.
elements which are having 1, 2, 3 electrons there in the valence shell are called metals, or electropositive elements. And metals which are having 5, 6, 7 electrons there in the valence shell are called non-metals or electronegative elements. And elements which are having 4 electrons there in the valence shell are called metalloids, or semi-metals. And the elements which are having 8 electrons there in the last shell are called inert gases or rare gases or noble gases. Is it okay, beta?
Yes, sir.
See, here exceptions are there. Hydrogen is having 1 electron, but is not a metal. Helium is having 2 electrons, but is not a metal. These two are exceptions. Hydrogen is a non-metal and helium is an inert gas. So you should remember these exceptions. Hydrogen and helium are having 1 and 2 electrons there in the valence shell, but are not metals, are non-metal. Hydrogen is a non-metal and helium is an inert gas. Is this okay, beta?
Yes, sir. So hydrogen and helium are exceptions.
Yeah, hydrogen and helium, these two are exceptions. They are having 1 or 2 electrons there in the valence shell, but are not metals. Now
Yes.
see, there is no exception for this one. What about carbon? Carbon is having 4 electrons in its valence shell, but is not a metalloid. It's not a semi-metal. It's a non-metal. You know the meaning of metalloid or semi-metal?
So metalloid is like it's like a mixture of different metal and non-metal, sir.
Yeah, it's a mixture of metals and non-metals both.
Yes.
See what red is. Red is red. What white is? White is white. What about pink? Pink will be having red as well as white both. Are you
Yes,
getting
sir.
my point? Pink will be red as well as white. Both colors are there in that. So that is a metalloid. That's a hybrid. You know hybrid? That's a
Yes, sir.
hybrid. That's a hybrid. Means two contrasting properties are there. Two opposite, two different properties are there. That is called hybrid. That's called metalloid. That is called semi-metal. Is this okay?
Yes.
So these are few exceptions. Even then too, it won't be possible for you to give 100% correct answer. So many more definitions are there. So what you said, first definition, metals, S block and P block elements will always form ionic bond. Second, metal and non-metal will always form ionic bond or electrovalent bond. What these elements are? These elements, metals are electropositive elements and non-metals are electronegative elements. Electronegative elements. So the bond which is formed between electropositive element and electronegative element, more or less it is same now. Metal is always electropositive, non-metals are always electronegative, but they won't be writing metal and non-metal. Instead of writing that, they will be writing electropositive element and electronegative element. So the bond which is formed in between electropositive and electronegative element will always be ionic or electrovalent bond. Is this okay, beta?
Yes.
Now see, some more definitions are there. What this is? You know, this is low ionizing energy elements. Low ionizing energy elements, and these are high ionizing energy elements. So low ionizing energy elements, bond which is formed between low ionizing energy elements and between high ionizing energy elements will always be ionic or electrovalent. What this low ionizing and high ionizing energy elements are? Metals will lose electron with relatively greater ease. Metals will always lose electron with relatively greater ease, means their ionization energy will be low. And non-metals will lose electron with relatively greater difficulty. So will be high ionizing energy elements. So this you will study mainly there in periodic classification. Okay, fine, beta. So the bond which is formed between low ionizing energy elements and high ionizing energy elements. Metals are always low ionizing energy elements and non-metals are always high ionizing energy elements. Then the bond formed will always be ionic or electrovalent bond. Now see the most important point, most accurate point, most difficult point. If the difference in electronegativity, if the difference in electronegativity, one element will be having some electronegativity. Suppose A is having electronegativity 4. How much electronegativity A is having? 4. And what about the B? B is having 1.9 electronegativity. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
What electronegativity is? Electronegativity is simply the tendency of an element to gain electron pair. What electronegativity is? It is simply the tendency of an element to attract the electron pair towards itself. That is called electronegativity. Electronegativity is simply the tendency of an element to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. That is called electronegativity.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So if the difference in electronegativity, obviously you won't be able to come to know about the electronegativity of A or B. You have to learn it, or they will provide you the values of electronegativity. You won't be able to calculate the electronegativity of A or electronegativity of B. That's a constant. Either they will provide you or you will learn it. Fine. If the difference in
Yes, sir.
electronegativity between two elements, these two elements are combining. So difference in electronegativity between A and B is greater than 1.7. Here see 4 minus 1.9 will be 2.1 now.
Yes, sir.
So electronegativity difference is greater than 1.7 now.
Yes, sir.
So bond formed will always be ionic or electrovalent. That's the most accurate point.
Yes, sir. What if it's less than 1.7?
If it is less than 7, then obviously it will be covalent bond. See, none of us can ever be 100% male or 100% female. It is God only who can be 100% male or 100% female. Then why you are a boy? Because 90% boyish character and 10% girlish character. That's why you are a boy. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So if the difference in electronegativity between two elements is greater than 1.7, see, I'll tell you. If the difference in electronegativity, is exactly 1.7, if the difference in electronegativity is exactly 1.7, then it will be 50% covalent. It will be 50% covalent and 50% ionic. And 50% ionic. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
If electronegativity is greater than 1.7, then it will be more than 50%. It will be more than 50%. It will be ionic, and less than 50%. More than 50%, it will be ionic, and less than 50%, it will be covalent. More than,
So what if it is 1.7?
yeah, 1.7, then 50% covalent, 50% ionic, 50-50.
Okay, sir.
Fine. And if it is greater than 1.7, then the ionic will be more than 50% and covalent will be less than 50%. Covalent will be less than 50%. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
And if it is less than 1.7, then covalent will be more than 50% and ionic will be less than 50%. Is it okay, beta?
Yes, sir.
Now this topic from your life is over. Forget about 10th class or 11th or 12th class. From your life, this topic is over. If tomorrow you'll be writing IIT JEE, if tomorrow you'll be writing NEET, if tomorrow you'll be writing SAT, then also if tomorrow you'll be doing MSc in chemistry, then also beyond this, nothing is there. Nothing is there. But see, it's very difficult now. You should know the electronegativity values of both elements now. You should know the electronegativity values of both elements now. Then only we can apply this method. So that's the difficult most. That's the difficult most. Is this okay, beta?
Yes.
Now see. Now see. Now we'll convert this topic into maths. We'll convert this topic into maths. See, now you can ask me, sir, if it is 1.9%, then what? If the electronegativity difference is 1.9, sorry, I wrote 1.9%, but instead that you should write electronegativity is 1.9, then what? If electronegativity is 1.7, if electronegativity is 1.7, if electronegativity is equal to 1.7, then the percentage ionic character, will be 50. And if it is 1.9, then the percentage ionic character will be 1.9 into 50, 1.9 into 50 divided by 1.7. This is what unitary method there in maths now. If 3
Yes, sir.
pencils cost is 50 rupees, so 7 pencils cost will be. So 7 into 50 upon 3. So this is what I am doing. 1.9
Yeah.
into 50 divided by 1.7. So see, this will be, I don't know how much it would be. I'll check it. Can you check it? Do you
So the
have
answer is answer is 56 around
Yeah, fine.
55.88.
Yes, fine. See, 56% ionic, 56% ionic, 56% ionic, and 44% covalent.
So sir, in exam you should write like this.
So majority is of ionic now. So dominance will be of ionic character.
Yes, sir. But like during an exam, do we just write 50% or do we have to write
Yeah,
like ionic
yeah,
character 50%?
yeah. So that's all, man. That's all. Fine. It's a law of dominance only. So metal, are you getting my point, beta?
Yes, sir.
Metal is metal. Why? Because the metallic characters are more and non-metallic characters are less. Metal is metal. It doesn't mean 100% metal and 0% non-metal. If you are white now, then genes which are responsible for blackness are also there in you. Then why you are white? Because white genes are more in you than black. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Why you are tall? Because the genes which are responsible for tallness in you are more than the genes which are responsible for dwarfness in you. Is it okay, beta?
Yes, sir.
So that's the point, man. That's the point. Metal,
Yes.
every metal will be having some non-metallic characters too. You know
Yes,
about
sir.
acid, you know about acids and base now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why HCl is acid? Because acidic characters are more and basic characters are less. That's why it's an acid.
Yes, sir. But aren't so are metals not pure? Like are they not 100% pure?
No, I was not getting. See, I'll tell you here, then you can ask me what doubt you are having. See, this HCl is 92% acid. How much acidic character it is having? 92%.
92%.
What does it mean? 8% basic characters. And this is the strongest acid. This is the strongest acid. No other acid can even be more stronger than this HCl. So it is 92% acidic. Are you getting beta?
Yes.
Now see, what about HNO3? HNO3 is approximately 81% acidic. What does it mean? But after 9 minutes, after 7 minutes, this class will be discontinued. So please rejoin. Fine. So
Yes,
please
sir.
rejoin. So see, this HNO3 is 80%, 81% acidic. What does it mean? 19% basic characters are there in this. 19% basic characters are there in this. Is it
Yes, sir.
okay? So dominance is of, since acidic characters, so it is acid. Dominance is of acidic characters, so it is acidic. But basic characters will also be there. Basic characters will also be there. Are you getting my
Yes,
point?
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
every metal will have some non-metallic character. Every acid will have some basic character. Every ionic compound will have some covalent character. No metal can ever be 100% metal. No acid can ever be 100% acid. No ionic compound can ever be 100% ionic compound. Every metal will have certain non-metallic character. Every acid will have some basic character. Every ionic compound will have some covalent character. Is this okay, beta?
Yes, sir. But that means there is no pure metal. Yes, sir.
This is what the point I want to tell you, which you have said. What's the meaning of
Yes, sir.
virgin? What's the meaning of virgin? Virgin means pure. Virgin means what?
Yes, sir.
Pure element. So this virgin word truly can never be used for human beings. It can only be used for God, because it is God only who can be 100% male or 100% female. We all are mixtures. We all are mixtures. So in true sense, in English we use in a different context, but in true sense, it can only be used for virgin means element. See, extra virgin olive oil means only olive is there, no other impurity is there in that. Nothing else is there, just only olive oil. So extra virgin olive oil means extra pure. Nothing else is there. No impurity is there in that. No dust, no any other sort of oil, nothing is there. No mixture it is. Is it okay, beta?
Yes, sir.
See, this is what chemistry is. This is what chemistry is. If you understand this point now, then it will be very easy for you to manage chemistry. It will be very easy for you to manage chemistry. If your interest is science, then this will be of great importance. Now see, first for boron, they will be writing metalloid. For boron, in chemistry, they will be writing first metalloid. And then in next para, they will be writing non-metal. So you will get confused now, whether it is non-metal or metalloid, what the right is. Metalloid means metal and non-metal both. And this will be more and this will be less. So that's why in next para they have written this. See, in your class 40 girls, and 5 boys are there. In your class 40 girls and 5 boys are there. So that will be a mixed batch, or
Yes,
that
sir.
will be a girls section. That will be a girls section. It can't be boys section. It can't be boys section. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So either it is co-ed or it is girls section, because it is majority only which will be see, you are there in Oman, suppose, and their majority people is Arabic. Their majority people are, suppose, Arabic. It doesn't mean Telugus are not there. It doesn't mean Hindi speaking people are not there. It doesn't mean Malayalis are not there. Tamils are not there. All are there. French are there. Chinese are there. Filipinos are there. But since majority is Arabic, so what we will say? Arabic country. Fine. Hindi
Yes, sir.
speaking state. Tamil speaking state. Tamil speaking state, it doesn't mean there is no English, there is no Hindi, there is no Malayalam, there is no Telugu. All are there. But on the basis of majority only, you will be calling them, na? You will be deciding them. Na? Are you getting my point, beta? So
Yes, sir.
this is a very, very important, very big point. See, first they will be writing metalloid, and in next para they will be writing non-metal. So you will get confused. Sometimes they are saying metalloid and sometimes they are saying non-metal. Metalloid because both are there. Then why non-metal? Because non-metal is more there in them.
Yes, sir.
Fine. This is what chemistry is. But if you'll understand this concept now, then it will be very easy for you to handle chemistry. It will be very easy for you to understand chemistry. Otherwise, chemistry is very difficult to understand. Now see, we'll see one more example, so it will be easy for us to understand. Now this question will be there for you, man. So use it very carefully. Fine, use it very carefully. If difference in electronegativity is 1.3 between two elements X and Y, difference in electronegativity is 1.3. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Two elements they have given X and Y, and their difference in electronegativity is 1.3. Then what will be the ionic character, or what will be the covalent character there in that compound? What will be the ionic character, or what will be the covalent character there in that? So you are very smart man, so behave accordingly. Fine, behave accordingly. There is probability of making mistake. That is what I want to see. Fine, very good, ma'am. Just please write it there on the board so that I can see whether you are making mistake or not. Yeah, Kamini, what 38% is?
Yes, sir. Answer. Just give me the answer, sir.
Yeah. So what I was expecting you from what I was expecting from you, that mistake is done. So I'll tell you, man. That's why I gave you this question. So I was expecting some mistake from you, and it is done. Fine, baby. See,
No, sir.
this is less than 1.3 now. This is less than
Yes, sir.
1.7 now. This is less than 1.7 now. So this will be 1 point, this should be, see, this is 1.3 now. So it should be covalent now. But if 30%, 38% covalent character, then 62% will be ionic. So it should be ionic now.